The dining room chandelier flickered, casting jagged shadows across the half-eaten birthday cake, its candles long snuffed out. Laughter from the party still echoed faintly, but the air now carried a sour edge, like wine left too long in the glass. I stood frozen, my fingers gripping the edge of the table, staring at the phone in my hand. A single text glowed on the screen. "Meet me out back. Now." It was from Claire, my wife's ex, who'd shown up tonight uninvited, her presence a splinter under my skin all evening. Why was she texting me? My heart thudded, a dull hammer against my ribs, as I glanced at my wife, Emily, laughing too loudly with Claire across the room. Something was wrong. I could feel it, like the moment before a storm breaks. The party had started innocently enough. Our house buzzed with friends, neighbors, and colleagues, all gathered to celebrate Emily's 35th birthday. The living room smelled of vanilla frosting and spilled champagne, the playlist thumping with nostalgic hits. Emily glowed in her emerald dress, her laughter bright but brittle, like glass about to crack. I'd noticed Claire's arrival early on. A tall figure slipping through the front door, her dark hair catching the light like a warning flare. Emily hadn't mentioned inviting her. I hadn't asked. I told myself it was nothing, just a ghost from her past. But the way Claire's hand lingered on Emily's arm when they greeted each other twisted something in my gut. I excused myself from a conversation about office politics and slipped out the back door, the cool night air biting my skin. The backyard was quiet, save for the distant hum of the party and the rustle of leaves underfoot. Claire stood near the oak tree, her silhouette sharp against the moonlight. She turned as I approached, her eyes glinting with something I couldn't place. Anger, maybe, or guilt. "You got my text," she said, her voice low, almost a whisper. "Good. We need to talk." "About what?" I asked, my throat tight. I shoved my hands into my pockets to hide their trembling. "Why are you even here, Claire?" She stepped closer, her perfume sharp and unfamiliar. "I didn't come to ruin your night, Matt. But you deserve to know." Her words hung heavy, each one a stone dropped into still water. "Emily's been lying to you." My chest tightened, a vice clamping down. "What are you talking about?" I snapped, but my voice cracked, betraying the fear creeping up my spine. I wanted to laugh it off, to call her jealous, bitter, anything to dismiss the dread pooling in my stomach. But her eyes held mine, steady and unyielding, and I couldn't look away. "She's been seeing me," Claire said, her voice barely above a whisper. "For months. Late-night calls, secret meetups. I thought you should know before you find out some other way." The world tilted. My knees buckled, and I leaned against the tree, its rough bark biting into my palm. "You're lying," I said, but the words felt hollow, like a prayer I didn't believe in. My mind raced, replaying moments I'd dismissed. Emily's late nights at work, her phone always face down, the way she'd pull away when I reached for her in bed. Small things easily explained. Or so I'd thought. "I'm not," Claire said, her voice softening, almost pitying. "I have proof. Texts, photos. I can show you." I shook my head, the motion frantic, as if I could shake her words out of existence. "Why should I trust you? You're her ex. You could be making this up to hurt her." Claire's jaw tightened, and she pulled out her phone. "I'm not the one hurting anyone. Look." She thrust the screen toward me, and there it was, a photo of Emily, her head tilted back in laughter, sitting too close to Claire in a dimly lit bar. The timestamp was 2 weeks ago, a night Emily had said she was working late. My stomach churned, bile rising in my throat. "Why are you doing this?" I whispered, my voice raw. "Why now?" "Because I'm tired of being her secret," Claire said, her voice breaking. "And because you don't deserve to be played like this." I stumbled back toward the house, my pulse roaring in my ears. The party's noise hit me like a wave, laughter, clinking glasses, the thump of music. Emily was still there, twirling a strand of hair, her smile too perfect, too practiced. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but my feet carried me past her, through the crowd to the kitchen. I needed air, space, anything to stop the world from spinning. The kitchen was quieter, the fluorescent light harsh against the white tiles. I poured myself a glass of water, my hands shaking so badly the liquid sloshed over the rim. That's when I saw it. Emily's phone left on the counter, its screen dark but unlocked. My heart pounded as I picked it up, guilt and desperation warring in my chest. I shouldn't look. I had to look. The messages were there, buried in a thread labeled work. Dozens of texts to Claire, some flirty, some intimate, some so raw they burned to read. Miss you tonight. Emily had written just last week. Wish I could stay longer, Claire had replied. My knees gave out, and I sank to the floor, the phone slipping from my hand. Matt! Emily's voice cut through the haze. She stood in the doorway, her smile faltering as she saw me. What's wrong? I couldn't speak. The words lodged in my throat, sharp and jagged. I held up her phone, my hand trembling. Care to explain this? My voice was a stranger's, cold and distant. Her face paled, her eyes darting to the phone then back to me. It's not what you think, she said, her voice high, panicked. Claire's just a friend. You're blowing this out of proportion. Don't lie to me. The words exploded from me, louder than I'd intended. Heads turned in the living room, the party's hum faltering. I saw the texts, Emily. I saw the photo. How long has this been going on? She stepped closer, her hands outstretched, pleading. Matt, please, let's talk about this privately. It's not what it looks like. I swear I love you. Love me? I laughed, the sound bitter and broken. You've been sneaking around with her for months, and you think you can just explain it away? Tears welled in her eyes, but I couldn't tell if they were real or another performance. I didn't mean to hurt you, she whispered. It just happened. Claire was there when I felt alone, and I got caught up. But I choose you, Matt. I always will. Her words twisted the knife deeper. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the life we'd built, but the trust was gone, shattered like glass underfoot. The party continued around us, oblivious, as our world crumbled. I thought of Claire's pitying look, Emily's secret smiles, the lies I'd swallowed whole. And then a new thought struck me, sharp and cold. I'd invited Claire's girlfriend, Sarah, tonight, hoping to keep things civil, to prove I wasn't threatened. She was out there now, probably watching, unaware of the truth. I turned to Emily, my voice low, venomous. Does Sarah know? Or were you planning to break her heart too? Emily's eyes widened, her breath catching. Matt, don't. But I was already moving, pushing past her, back into the crowd. Sarah stood by the cake, chatting with a neighbor, her smile easy and unguarded. I didn't know what I'd say, but I knew one thing. The truth was a fire, and it wouldn't stay contained. Not tonight.